Peace and love, everyone. Welcome to a Monday morning meditation group. Please join us at Not Church on Sundays, where we explore profound mysticism, ancient and modern, East and West, through the lens of my near-death experiences, scholarship, and meditation practice. On Tuesdays on Zoom, join us for Kriya Yoga teaching and training as we explore the ancient roots of authentic, original yogic meditation. Yoga means union. Through mystical poetry and the teachings of Panagore and the ancient Yoga Sutras. Hello, friends who are here live. I'm glad you're here. Thanks a lot for being here. Hi, Holly. Let's see, I'll say good morning, Kristen, Catherine. Thanks for being the administrator. Wendy, Wanda, and Holly. Thanks for being here. So Thomas Merton, one of my mystical and contemplative heroes, was an American Trappist monk who was outspoken against the Vietnam War and explored the writings of Chuang Tzu, Lao Tzu's disciple from the Tao Te Ching. You may be familiar with that, but Chuang Tzu was another writer, mystic. Merton died in Bangkok, Thailand on December 10th, 1968, while attending an international conference of Catholic monks and nuns, not muns and nunks, which is what I was going to say. He was a part of a larger trip through Asia, which included meetings with religious leaders and spiritual figures such as the Dalai Lama and Buddhist monks. This is because in deep mysticism, whether you're Christian or another religion, there is only oneness. And at the time of his death, Merton had just finished giving a talk at the conference, and he was in his room resting, and he was found dead in the bathtub, apparently having been accidentally electrocuted by a faulty fan. Thomas Merton's idea that our idea of God tells us more about ourselves than about him. There's the patriarchy, but there you have it. Our idea of God tells us more about ourselves than about God applies to us personally, but it also applies to American Christian nationalism. By highlighting how religious beliefs can reflect personal and cultural biases rather than the true nature of the unlimited, infinite, unconditional God of love. So, 1, national identity and God. Christian nationalism portrays God as favoring America and supporting specific political agendas. Merton would say that this reflects nationalist values rather than an accurate understanding of God who transcends any single nation or political system. 2, selective beliefs. Christian nationalists tend to emphasize aspects of Christianity that support their political vision, like America being a chosen nation, while ignoring others like compassion, mercy, inclusion for the marginalized, or humility. Merton's insight reveals that Christian nationalism, they use God as a mirror to justify and reinforce their own political and cultural beliefs rather than engaging with the whole complex nature of the universal source of all being and unconditional welcome and love. 3, God and political power. Nationalists often see their political success as a sign of God's approval. Merton would argue that this reflects their desire for power, influence, dominance, and control, reducing God to a tool for political purposes rather than recognizing God's larger, mysterious reality. This reduction of God to a nationalistic symbol is precisely what Merton was warning against. When we shape God into a reflection of our nationalist desires, we're not encountering God, but instead we're encountering a projection of our collective egoic identity. 4, exclusion and certainty. Christian nationalism fosters a sense of us versus them, of moral superiority, portraying those who disagree as enemies or evil. Merton's view challenges this by calling for humility and recognizing that rigid ideas about God often always reflect, individual and collective fears and biases. In this fearful religion, God reflects the nationalists' desire for control and moral superiority rather than God's actual nature, which is inclusive, loving, and merciful. 5. Cultural supremacy. The belief in the superiority of American culture intertwined with Christianity reflects nationalists' anxieties and desire for dominance. Merton and love mystics throughout the world understand that reducing God to a champion of one culture misses God's universal inclusive nature. In summary, Merton's critique of humanity and my critique of his view of humanity through the lens of Christian nationalism, the view says more about the nationalists' personal and cultural needs, fears, biases, and desire for authoritarianism rather than God's true, transcendent, immanent nature of unconditional love. I think Jesus would agree with Merton. What do you think? What's your heart say? The funny thing about meditation is the openness of the heart produces an openness of the mind, the focus of the mind without ongoing thought allows the expression of the heart. It creates this connection deep within us that changes our daily life. I had a conversation with somebody last night who's been meditating for 3 years now and has noticed changes in her behavior at work and at home and in life. A self understanding that produces compassion for herself and for others. It's amazing what can happen when one has an open heart through focused mind and breath. It's not just a connection to the divine inside, it's a connection to the divine outside. And Merton knew this. This is why he was meeting with the Dalai Lama against some Catholics' ideas of what was proper. The fact that he wrote about Chuang Tzu, again, not proper consideration given to the Christian tradition, according to some at the time, Roman Catholics and Protestants, of course, too. Thomas Merton, although he was in the context of his monastic and hermetic, meaning like he had hermitage, life reflects not so much the external world as the clarity of the internal world developed through a life of contemplation and meditation aimed at the oneness of being, the stepping aside, the allowing the light to shine forth, rather than imposing the mind on the heart. It's the other way around. I hope that was helpful this morning. Good morning, Judith from the Ozarks. Hey, thanks for being here, everybody. All right. We have let me make sure I have my timer set today. I may have shut it off by accident. Well, not by accident. I told Siri to shut off all my timers, and I may have forgotten to put it back on. Let's see. Alarms. Oh, no, I have it on. I do. All right. So we have till the bottom of the hour. Simple meditation, if you're just joining us here for the first time, and I'm glad everybody's here live and by recording, you may notice the depth of your meditation is better in the company of others. That is a resonant thing that happens with meditation, but it also is a training for your regular practice. To show up on a regular basis here helps you show up for yourself when you're by yourself meditating. The ritualization of the practice makes a big difference because it takes a dedication, and it's not a quick fix. It takes time to rewire the brain and open the heart. So give it an effort. And I'm not just saying that, because I want you here. I'd like you to be here because it's going to help you. I have already got my meditation practice. I'm here to try to help you find yours because the benefits of it are internal and external. It's amazing. All right, so you can use a simple breath and a chant if you want. I have historically used the Jesus prayer, breathing in my prayer and out my prayer, letting it ride on my hand like a butterfly rather than grasping at it. And when my mind wanders, I just return to my practice, to my breath, focus, and my chant. And you can use an image if you want one. It's a good idea to stick to one idea if you can, because it helps train the brain a little better. It's easier. Um, but the whole idea is to quiet down the thought so that you can be in the presence of the emptiness, because it's in that space between the thoughts, between the notes, where the now exists. And all of this connection internally and externally begins to develop and strengthen over time. All right. I'm going to move my mic away. I do we've been practicing some Om chanting, so we'll do maybe 3 or 4 of those. Feel the vibration in your chest, feel it in your throat, maybe bring the further up into your head. And when you're ready, maybe after 5 breaths or so, we'll quiet down and just fall into your own meditation, relaxing your feet and your thighs, your face. It's important to relax your face and your shoulders. And when your mind wanders, return to your practice. Hope that's helpful. I'll move this back just a little bit there. Breathing into my belly, filling my lungs. Shoulders rise. Pause. this morning and for watching by recording. I hope your meditation was deep. Mine was. I'm glad to hear it's better, Catherine, down there in Florida. I'm thinking of all of the people who we know and those we don't who suffered under this hurricane, but also in Nepal, too. They've had major flooding over there as well and elsewhere in the world. Thinking of all of you. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Wanda, for your comment. Peace to all. See you soon.